like quarantine has been shit in general, but our life has just seen so many like ups and downs, and like the highs have been so high and the lows have been so low. But you guys were a part of all of that for me. You really were. Like, I'm lucky that you guys were in my life for all of this, because I didn't really have, like, we're such a bubble. And while we do welcome the whole world in to watch things, there's only like a real solid group of like a few people. And you guys, for me, are those people.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jillian Pensavalle.
Hey, Patrick Hines.
Hi, everyone. Look, for those of you who are just listening to your first ever episode of True Crime Obsessed because you found us via Chrissy Teigen, I say welcome to you.
Yes, hello and welcome. The water's rough, but fun.
You guys, after like weeks and months of communicating with Chrissy, I mean, girl, we could just tell them we sort of connected and we fell in love really fast. Chrissy like told us she was a really big fan. And literally, Chrissy Teigen asked us if she could join us for an episode.
Yes, and we safely got it done. She flew to New York. We got all the tests and all the quarantines, and we did the whole thing. And we sat down and just talked true crime and our podcast with Chrissy Teigen. Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Is that what we're about to play?
Yes, and John Legend was there in the background. He was sitting on the couch. You'll hear him chiming in from time to time. If you are just joining us, I'll tell you really quickly, we are a podcast where we recap true crime documentaries. So if you've ever watched anything on Netflix, Oxygen, Hulu, any true crime documentary you've ever heard of, we have about 200 episodes. Go check it out. Listen to our funny and hilarious and heartfelt commentary.
Yeah, so this is not what we normally do. This is like a very special episode of True Crime Obsessed. Usually we're recapping your documentary. So this is a very special, never before done on this. But we're not an interview podcast. We're a recap podcast. So, but we're thrilled. I am thrilled to go off the beaten path with this one. But, you know, join us, won't you? They're in your podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts.
And so here we go. And we'll jump back in at the very end and say goodbye and maybe give you another little tidbit of how the afternoon went. And that's it. Go forth and enjoy the Chrissy.
Wow. Okay, I'll do the same. I'm very nervous about it still. It's already happened, but I'm still very nervous.
Hey, Jillian Pensavalle.
Hey, Patrick Hines.
Girl, this does not look like where we usually record. Where are we?
What's interesting is that we're in person for the first time in a year.
That's
so
true.
That's different. And we're doing that because we are here with Chrissy goddamn Teigen.
I didn't know I brought you two together.
You did.
You did. We haven't been together in a year. This is the first time.
From the bathtub, it feels like you guys are genuinely together.
It really feels like we're in the bathtub, all the three of us.
All of us. I'm not kidding. In my closet together, in the bathtub together. John listens to you like upstairs. Like we always in the background. I mean,
God.
This is.
I gotta tell you, we worked really hard when the pandemic hit. My husband and my family, we abandoned the city. But I'm that person who is like psychotic about how our audio sounds, but I know nothing about audio.
Yes.
So it's like, we've got to figure this out to make it sound good, girl.
Yes.
What do we do?
And then what we did was, funny thing, like, Chris, if you don't care about anything I say, just
I
tell
care
me, I'll
about
stop and I'll
everything.
veer.
If you want to have one of us taken out behind the apartment building and shot, that's fine.
Totally
fine.
No.
Him first. But anyway, we tried to do it like fancy pants. We got like new fancy mics. Remember, you sent me like the Yeti, and it just sounded bad. And we were like, hey, guess what? If it ain't broke, we'll FaceTime and use the mics that we've been using, and it kind of works. And I kind of did the same thing with the Hamilcast. Like, and things are people are just happy to have the content, I think.
Yeah.
We worked super hard, but we're like, we're doing it.
I feel like it's not enough content, quite frankly.
Chrissy, what else would you like us to cover?
Yeah.
Tell us what to do, and we'll do all of it.
I feel like it was happening I feel like there was so much, and now I gotta say it's lagging. I need more.
Are you just all caught up? You binged it?
You're listening to the Patreon, right?
I think what happened is that I listened to only you guys now, so everything else, like all the fillers, got thrown out the window.
We'll do all of it.
And now
Send
I
us
just
a
need
list.
more.
Send us a list.
Well, for a little context, when you first here's the story of our love affair. One morning I woke up and I got a notification that you followed me on Twitter, and it was at our little company. It was all goddamn hands on deck. It was like, what's happening? Like, if you think I'm screeching, my husband, everyone's running around like, oh my God, I'm screenshotting it. I'm putting it on Facebook. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I figure that no one even notices stuff like that because
Chrissy,
I don't have.
Like, when are you going to realize you're Chrissy Teigen? How long? By the end, that's my goal. By the end of this, you will say, you know what? I'm Chrissy Teigen.
I bet everyone freaks out when I follow them on
That's
Twitter.
right. You should start telling people to shut up. It's great.
Oh man, when I've unfollowed 1,000 people on Twitter.
Did I make the cut?
Over New Year's or on Instagram? I'm sorry. And wow, the messages I got, like they hit my heart. Like I had to refollow some people. I had
what
to
are you supposed to do? Like sometimes you just want to scroll and see the people you know.
I know, and also like some things like some people, I don't know. It's just like you're too happy.
Oh yeah. Oh, enough of that.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic, you guys. Are you kidding me?
It could be anything. I don't know, but yeah, I had to. I was following so many people, and I only saw like 10 of their photos or 10 specific people because of the algorithm. So yeah, it was difficult.
Well, so you followed me on Twitter, and then this is, I don't even know if you know what this means, but like one day I was recording. I was recording something. I was in the studio, and it was like my husband comes into the room and he's pounding on the studio door, which is like a soundproof room. So I know like my kid is dead or something.
Dead.
Yeah. And he's like, our social media person was like, Chrissy Teigen left you guys a voicemail, and it was the pandemonium.
I was still
Do you
moving.
have it?
Of
Do you
course.
have the
Yes.
We totally have
Oh
it.
my God.
We have it. Yeah, because it's the Instagram voice memo, right?
Yeah.
Which I didn't know was a
So
thing.
I only voice note. That's how I communicate. I don't know why. It's just so much easier for me. I voice note everybody, and then I discovered you could do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, this is so much easier than anything.
Yeah.
So you guys were one of the first people. I think the first actually.
Stop it.
Really?
Yeah.
Stop it. Instagram, give us a
swear.
medal for that. Are there medals for that?
I'm trying to get Slack to put it on there. Like if
I
Slack did
love
voice
Slack.
notes,
I know.
it
Yeah.
would save me.
So, but then I called you, and all
You
of a sudden you were
FaceTimed.
like,
I was surrounded by boxes. You were like, what are you doing? I was like, moving, unpacking. And you were like, forget that.
everything. No, you're not anymore. You're dealing with this.
And then I stopped for the
Yeah.
next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I just lived in boxes. So I was like,
People
oh my
had
God.
been telling me to listen to you guys for a really long time. Like the name came up often.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. I guess the true crime world is very, very small.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I had been like a loyal. I was like Sword and Scale,
Yes.
and then I went on to Live and Die in L.A. And I just like kind of fluctuated. And then Serial was my big thing, of course.
Yeah.
And then I just needed something that would satisfy me on the reg.
Okay, can I say this one thing? I'm sure you don't remember this, but like a year ago you tweeted something that said, you guys, I promise I've checked out that true crime podcast. I just don't really like the silly laughing. And I was like, is she talking?
We thought it was us.
And I quote tweeted it, and I was like, okay, but can we still be best friends?
It grows on you.
It's true.
It was about us.
It's like a weed. It's like me.
I know.
I compare everything to myself. Like everything is about me
course.
all the time.
Yes.
And I was just
Here
like, I
to
understand
concur.
it now. Like I really, I don't know. Once you grow to love it.
Can I ask you a very selfish question since we're admitting that everything is
And
about
by the way,
ourselves
people
all the time?
hate me on your comments.
People hate us.
On our what?
Your comments. Oh my God.
People hate us on our comments.
Oh,
Chrissy.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. And give me their names. I have a running list
I feel
myself.
bad every time you guys mention me, even in a podcast. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna get so much shit in their
It's our
comments.
favorite
People
thing
get
to
so
do.
mad. I'm so sorry.
Someone commented, "Oh, why do you put that stupid purple shit in your hair? You're such an old broad." And I responded to him. I said, "I do it for you. I do it to piss you off. Chrissy. I'm
Yeah,
so
just
glad it's working."
strictly to
I said, "I'm so
anger
glad it's
you."
working." And then his account was
know.
deleted. So, Chrissy, you send them to me.
I know, but then you're the bully after all that. After someone
Okay.
reaches out to you and they oh my God, look what you did to them, those poor people.
I know.
Okay.
Well, that's where like the mornings that I wake up and I'm like, I wish I had 35 million Instagram followers. But then
don't.
I'm like, oh no, you know what?
don't.
That I can be a bully and no one's gonna get
it's
mad at me.
the worst.
But wait, can I ask you a question since we're all being selfish and that's allowed?
Yeah.
What was the episode where you were like, all right, I get it?
Oh gosh, probably. Well, it's hard because I started late and then I went back. But of course I loved, any one of my friends will tell you that I am obsessed with rewatching and re-listening to things. So
Yes, me too.
I need other people to sit there with me. Like I
Yes.
made everybody sit down and watch the Cecil Hotel with me
Yes,
again,
yes,
even though I had
yes.
just watched it.
Yep.
For me with Gypsy Rose,
Mm-hmm.
Mommy, Dead, Dearest. Yeah.
Yes, Mommy, Dead, and Dearest. I was fascinated by that. I loved being the person to tell them that they must listen to this, watch this, then watch the movie. And then, like, I was that person. I probably watched it, John, how many times?
At least 5.
5? I was going to say, like, I've definitely seen it over 10 to 20 times.
Wow.
And then, like, watching it with other people, and, like, it's like a weed. It just takes over everything. And I love sitting there and, like, looking over at people like, oh, my God. They're about to see
I do that with
shit.
my husband, Mike, all the time.
Watch people watch things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Watch people watch things is my favorite thing on the planet. Anyone will tell you that. So when I got to go back and listen to that and Aunt Diane,
Yes.
I think was
Those were
really,
so early. Like those episodes of TCO
Yeah.
are not the TCO of today.
No, I re-listened in preparation for this. I re-listened to both of those today. The Gypsy Rose one is our episode 5.
Wow.
And I'm literally like, Jillian, what do you think about the way that the mother spoke to the daughter?
And I'm like, I really didn't like it, girl. Didn't like it. Not a fan.
I'm like, shh.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it is. That's the thing with tone with these things. It's so difficult because obviously it's such a incredibly serious topic, and it's hard but you see all the characters around everything, and that's what makes it funny and ridiculous, and to pinpoint like, oh, this detective is insane, or the way this was handled is insane. And so
Chrissy
to find that balance,
gets it.
I think you guys really strike a nice balance between like not making light of the subject, and then also like, and that's credit to the two of you.
Oh, thank you.
Coming together, and it's such a difficult thing to navigate, though.
You know,
it really
the funny
is.
thing about that is like a glorious compliment, which we accept graciously. Thank you.
Can
so
you
much.
watch this, please? It's making me very
I know.
nervous.
If I break Chrissy Teigen's wine glass, I'm going
It's
to.
And
John
it's our
Legend.
audio. This is like precious carpet.
They are
Like,
drinking
yeah.
John Legend's LVE wine.
It is.
It is delicious,
so
John.
good. John Legend is here. He's cooking in the
Raising a
kitchen.
glass
It's
John
fine.
for
Legend
you.
he's cooking, please. He's heating soup from a jar. Oh my God. He's literally heating soup. You guys are so easily pleased. Like, everyone is so amazed by John all the time.
I have to tell you, I was watching one of your lives. Your lives are so mesmerizing because, like, you're just so beautiful, and you're like getting jewels put on your face. It's like you could. And when we were zooming with you that day, and my daughter sat on my lap, and she goes, "Daddy, is that who you're going to talk to?" Like, she couldn't believe it. But John was in the background making a pizza, and it was the most amazing. Like, watching you get the jewels on, and like watching John like working on this
mesmerizing. It's
stove.
That's why
mesmerizing.
we're so fascinated by the fact that people think that we're involved in this crazy conspiracy.
I
Like,
was going to ask
Yeah,
what
we
it
were
was
gonna
like to
ask
be
about that.
a part of the Illuminati.
Sure.
How did you get in?
we don't do anything.
Are there
we're
any
the
openings?
most boring people on the planet. Like, anyone that comes into our house, like, we welcome them. Like, we are an open door. Like, we let we have like this.
We're
like,
here.
strict
You'll let
little box.
anybody in, literally.
Yeah.
But,
COVID
like,
test first. but
Anyone
then-
sees everything. I'm an open book. And like, when all these things start, you're just like, you guys have no idea how boring and lame we are. We really are. And like, we're excited by like the dumbest little things. And yeah, it's just like what people create in their heads is so fascinating to me. But
People are
we're
so
not.
bored,
They're
you know?
bored. I
And what's so
know.
terrifying is that people who like, that used to be like fringe stuff. It used to be stuff that nobody paid attention to. And now like Marjorie Taylor Greene is in like
I know.
Congress,
And once it went to TikTok, and that's when I was like, oh shit, the young ones hate us now. And it wasn't just the crazies. And when that's when I first started feeling unsafe, is when I would drive down Hollywood Boulevard, and then there was like an actual march of like, a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I rolled my window down right now, oh my God.
my
It's like,
God.
it's terrifying. It's super scary.
This is why you guys don't get to see famous people at Starbucks anymore, because nobody can behave.
Yeah,
They can't go anywhere.
It's over now.
scary, but it's hard to realize like how real like the QAnon stuff is. It can be very, and even though their leader like shut it down and was like, let's move on, guys. They're like, no, this is a sign too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like, this
everything is a sign. And when things don't work out the way, like March 4th or whatever was
Yes.
supposed to happen, then it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like the end of
this
days,
is all,
everything.
This is all part of the plan.
Yep.
That was the big surprise. Like, of course nothing's happening today.
Yeah,
It's like,
Trump
oh
of all
my
people
God.
was the one that was going to take everyone down. And,
All right.
and man, like it started so long ago. Like, we were in Hong Kong, and our plane turning back around was like the root of it. And
Your plane
it was
turned around?
our plane turned around. I had fallen asleep, and our plane turned around.
They're like, she's not comfortable. We're
I
going to
don't
take it
even
back to the
remember
airport.
why.
It was security. There was someone on the plane that wasn't supposed to be on the plane.
There was someone on the plane that wasn't supposed to be
Oh my
on the
God.
airplane, so our plane turned around like 7 hours into the flight.
And so rather than go to Japan, which we were further toward Japan than we were from LA, or closer to Japan than we were to LA by then, they were like, you got to turn around.
They
That's
couldn't have just gotten a
terrifying.
marshal to sit with that guy.
I know, and John
Well, we've
didn't
seen how
even
that
wake
works
me
out with Jimmy
up.
Cooper.
John
Right.
didn't even wake me up to tell me. So I woke up and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, we're on our way home. And I tweeted through the whole thing because I was like, this is amazing. And then it became like Chrissy's being arrested finally.
Oh my God.
Well, their theory is that all these stars that are part of this are getting arrested, but they're secretly getting arrested. So,
You look very arrested right now, John.
Yeah.
if I may.
Yeah. That's why I wear these boots to cover my ankle bracelet. What? Oh, and then in Hong Kong, when we did finally eventually make it, my credit card declined, and I posted about that because I was like sitting on a stoop, and I couldn't get cash out.
Oh, God.
And they were like, they shut down her cards. No. Oh my God.
John Legend's like, yeah, they all think we're like part of this thing as he takes a sip from his soup. Just like, nothing is happening, everybody. We're just sitting here heating up soup, and like, I don't understand.
Nothing.
Oh my
Nothing.
God.
I believe there is like true evil in the world, but I do believe that it's your uncle and it's your neighbor and it's your brother. and
Totally.
it's your,
It's your mother.
Yep,
Gypsy
it's
Rose.
truly.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so not to make it about us again,
No,
but
it's
like,
okay.
That's the theme. That we're allowed to do that
are we
today.
allowed to do that
Yeah,
at
a little
Chrissy
bit.
Teigen's house?
Chrissy?
We're all making it about ourselves. That's what we're doing.
Can we just? I want to set the scene for a second. You had a Hooters party last night. I only know that from your Insta stories. We are looking at Hooters style balloons. Like you really dove in. Like you really dug into the Hooters.
I'm looking at an owl right there.
I don't talk about it much, but I used to work at Hooters.
You did?
Hooters Newport Beach. And I was a hostess. I never made it up to being a server, but I would run food and they would get so mad. The girls would get so mad. But I will say it was one of the most wonderful times. Like it was really welcoming girl. Like I didn't find that the girls were catty or weird.
Yeah.
Like it was honestly like they were very kind. I was nobody. I wasn't anything. Like and it was just, I don't know. We would go for drinks after and we would go to dinner and I was just like I don't know. I loved it.
Did you feel objectified?
Not at all. And honestly, like the guys we talked to were so shy. Every once in a while you'd get somebody that would just like that was a regular and I have friends, like my best friend when she had worked there, she has stories of people like writing full-on novels about her, like fan fiction novels, and they would come in. Yeah, I didn't get that. But my dream
well, now you do.
my dream was to be in the Hooters calendar so I could go around and sign it for people. I
bet
wanted
they
that
would have
so
you now.
badly.
Right?
Well, one other question on that. So you didn't have what it took to make it to server. Did you ever do anything with your life?
Yeah.
That's a joke.
She's been arrested several times.
That is so.
It was just such a fun, like there was a vending machine in the back and we would get that's how we get our uniforms, the tights, the everything. I will say the shorts have come a long way. They've changed.
You had to
Wait a second. I thought you meant vending machine like for snacks.
No, for the uniforms.
And you had to buy your own uniform?
Yeah, because
Wow.
you would rip the tights all the time and yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like
I'm stuck on
acrylic
the vending
nails,
machine.
I would.
I fear that this will all become about the vending
I
machine.
thought it was a great way to do it.
Did you?
Yeah.
How much was it? Like $2
You get
or
a
like
free
$12?
meal, and my manager was so nice. Like everything about the experience was wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. Hooters. All right. I've always been a little bit like, I feel like they're objectifying, but if Chrissy Teigen's in, I'm in.
I swear to you, no. Like it was like we had families come in. Like it was.
The food really is delicious. If we're being
It's
honest.
delicious.
Fried
And I'm a
pickles,
big
come
like
on.
3 Mile sauce and I just chicken sandwich, naked, like whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to do it.
Now we understand when Michael Scott was defensive. He was like, it's actually Hooters restaurant and they have 45,000 locations worldwide. He gets very defensive.
That's why John
about
was the
Hooters.
manager yesterday, so he got a manager shirt. And it
Yes.
was so.
Ooh,
He's like,
foxy.
I'll have a chicken breast sandwich. Hold the chicken. She's like, do you really want that?
I'll have the gourmet hot dog. Thanks. Great.
So what? Okay, here's the question: what made you reach out to us? So it's one thing to listen to the podcast, but then you so kindly let us know that you liked it.
Well, I think what I was just honestly jealous of the fact that you guys get to do something like this. I don't get, and listen, I'll take this life any day,
Yeah.
of course. But it would be really difficult for me to be able to do something like this with my interest in true crime and growing up loving it. My mom was such a huge fan of it. I mean, Court TV was on more than Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Like that was Bravo before Bravo.
Yeah.
And so genuine interest in it. I was jealous of the fact that like you guys could come out and talk like this and be able to not get, I mean, you do get shit for sure, absolutely. But man, the amount of shit I would get if I did the same thing would just be like incredible. So I was like just fascinated by the whole world behind it. And I don't know, I think you're so lucky to be able to get to do it. And I remember being on John coming on Lip Sync Battle and being like, artists love to do something and a little bit different, right? Like every actor wants to be a musician, every this wants to be that. And for me, like if I had I would be you guys. Like I would love to.
Oh my God.
That would be my, I wouldn't be a musician. I would talk to true crime.
I feel like you and a gay best friend would really go places.
Yeah. I mean, we keep screaming about how we want to be put out of work.
I
This is
know.
the way
It's
how it's
too
this is
hard.
gonna
You know,
happen.
like there's always like I couldn't find the balance. And especially now navigating my tone and everything and learning what's okay to talk about and the right way to talk about it and overthinking everything and not being as free as I used to be. It's just not the right time for me to ever dive into something like that. So even like coming here, obviously we're like, do we want to specifically like hone in on a case? And I would love that so much, but man, the things that would get picked up from just me talking about it is just, it's too, I don't know. I don't want to start shit anymore. Like I'm exhausted by the idea of offending people. And for me, it's like, I can't take it. It's like, it makes me unwell. So
well, then just let us do the work for you. And you just listen.
Exactly.
And then you can just come hang out whenever you want. There's an
Exactly.
open
And I can text you
invitation.
things and voice note you things like, oh my God. And
you guys, Chrissy said we could be text friends. She gave us her phone number.
I know.
like the little inside jokes, like your family broke up. It just kills me.
Oh, the Becca's family inside.
God.
I love so Chrissy. I've known Chrissy for about an hour, and my favorite thing is that she's really picked up on the humiliation of my having had a daycare, which was like I'll never forget. My head in the freezer, like full panic attack, which I never had
After
before.
working for a year.
Like my whole thing was like, what did you expect? Like you were working, he was working for a year so that babies would be in his home. What did you think it was going to be, girl?
I look back on the year and I realized, oh, it was actually only 2 days a week that I worked at a daycare. Oh, it was actually only 2 half days a week, and I left early most of them.
You left early in like in sweats. Cold
What's your
sweats.
sign though? I'm not a big sign person, but this is very Sagittarius behavior.
I'm Aries on the cusp of Pisces, so I'm March 21st. So I'm
Okay.
like, right on the cusp.
Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like we dive into things like, and it's like this is gonna work, and then oh shit, this isn't gonna
Yeah,
work.
we did this on the Zoom. I'm the Sagittarius on the cusp of Capricorn.
Yes, that's right.
And then the other story was the Becca's family inside, which was like,
God.
we grew up in like subsidized housing in Massachusetts. And again, I loved my childhood. I was super poor. I didn't know you were supposed to care about that. Like I was like the poor, chubby, funny gay guy. It was great.
I hate this so much.
This is what it makes me, I block it out. Like whenever I was like, wait, I texted Patrick, I was like, what is Chrissy talking about? Like what Becca's like, what is that? Because I get it hurts me on your behalf so much. It
I think
makes
it's
me
so funny.
like I get the wolf comes out and I'm like, oh,
Kids are such.
But
Why are they
the
mean?
story is just that we had a dumpster where we took all the neighborhood took the trash, and it was owned by a company called BFI. Chrissy, your eyes are downcast, both of you. I love you guys for loving me for this.
children.
The people said, because my sister's name is Becca, that BFI stood for Becca's family. And it's so funny.
Sorry, it's so
terrible.
fucked up.
I know.
And that's when I knew I was like, I can't be on this. Like I can't do it.
I know. I was saying that the thing about TCO that I think works, like why it works, we weren't trying to make a comedy thing. Neither one of us think we're funny. We wanted to make like a straightforward, like recap, like just talk about stuff. And, we were new friends. We didn't know each other that well. And we sat down to talk about catfish. And you were, or
the imposter.
The imposter.
Oh, that's the one I loved too. The real catfish.
Oh, the
movie,
catfish, yeah.
Oh my God, that one is
Yay, freedom.
amazing. And you were just making me laugh so hard. And I was like, I think because we weren't trying to like laugh at anything, but like just you making me laugh like that, it just worked.
Because my whole thing was, this is the stuff that actually keeps me up at night. I don't think any of it is funny. We don't glorify, we don't think Richard Ramirez is hot or like Ted Bundy. Like I shut that shit down.
God.
So I was just like, how about this? This is really tragic that this family doesn't know where their kid is, right?
Yeah.
So how about I just focus on the fact that the sister thinks it's really cool that they had Coke in a different state. Coke the drink. And I was like, if we just focus on, Patrick was like, what do you think the lighting and the cinematography? I'm like, can you believe that the sister thought that the brother suddenly changed eye color? Like, I have to hone in on the things that don't make me upset.
Yes.
And then if we just talk about that and then the rage, then I felt like, okay, this is
I don't
really
think the world
me.
knows how incredibly hard that is to do, though. Seriously, it's so hard.
Thank you.
It really is.
I mean, we do work really hard on this.
We
girl.
do work hard. I always say we're not like sitting with popcorn watching these documentaries. It takes us 6 hours to watch one thing.
The
because
assignment of it. Like I told you, I was like, oh, I don't really want to rehearse anything. Like I can't imagine like going through it. Like, because that's the exact reason I couldn't do this.
Yeah, because if someone in the next room will hear you laughing, I'm not going to say us laughing, you laughing because it travels. I want to get the names and the dates right. That's the whole thing. Like we're going to tell the story with the most respect possible because if there's laughter about something that's really shitty, I want us to make sure that we're at least getting the story right. And there's rage coming.
I also
there's
do
always
believe
rage.
that if something ever happened to me, like I would really I expect you to cover it. I
We're
expect
doing
you to
it,
laugh
Chrissy.
about it, and I expect I would be hurt if people didn't laugh about it. Or like with the Cecil Hotel doc or something. Like I believe that like if something happened to me in a specific place, I want you to have dinner there. I want you to like do murder mystery dinners there.
God forbid if anything ever happened to you. And it was at like a hotel, we would go there
If I'm sitting on a cloud up there looking down and nobody's doing shit like that, I would be so pissed. Like just the other day I told John, I was like, if you ever write a song about me after I die, make it very specific about me so I know it's about me.
She's looking directly at him right now.
I want like exact lines in it where I know it's about me because when I don't feel it, I'm like, you didn't write that for me. There's like that. No, this could be about anybody. So when he said in all of me, what would I do without your smart mouth? I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
And it made me feel connected to it and I loved it. So
you guys have such a cool.
I just want to look down on from my cloud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pending I'm up there.
Or you'll haunt us.
Yeah.
Which I think would also be very fun.
Which would be great. No, you guys, I'm totally haunted by Chrissy Teigen.
If
You
no
don't
one's
even
having
know.
fun with me up there, I'd be very
Maybe we'll
very
hold
upset.
off just for the
Like
haunting.
if anyone's on Twitter and is like, that's too soon, I would be so mad.
We have the record now on
Totally.
record.
On
What
the
time is it?
record.
Okay,
It's
1:42, Friday, March 5th. Chrissy says we're allowed.
1 second after start making the
I'll
jokes.
be the first tweet. I'll be the first tweet.
serious.
Great. Oh my God, just a big quote tweet of like the Hollywood Reporter, like LOL. Oh, that would be so horrible. I would love it. I would love it.
I feel
LOL,
like
Chrissy dies.
LOL, Chrissy. LOL, skull emoji.
Oh, I'm not kidding. I'd be
I
so
feel
happy.
like my tweet would be like, I wonder if she's at the Hooters vending machine in the sky.
in the sky.
Did she speak of me? John, did she speak of me in her last moments?
That's
Oh
the
my
only way I
God.
want it.
This is really almost maybe the darkest we've gotten on the show. Talking
Really?
about our first tweet about Chris, our new best friend.
Oh my God.
Imminent death.
And I think about my last tweet, like when I send something, I'm like, oh, am I okay with this being the last tweet? Because I used to tweet all the time, like getting on an airplane. I'd be like, oh God, what a doofus.
Wait, what happened with Biden? He doesn't follow you anymore.
No, he does not. No, thank God. Well, honestly, it was, again, like it's genuinely so hard for me to tweet now in general in the past few years. And then with that, of course, like, it's not a real, I don't know, but I don't even want like members of his staff like having to get tangled up in my shit that I start.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They can just go to your profile, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just there was
Yeah.
something about it that I didn't like. And also, like when you're followed by somebody like that, everyone's like checking his list and seeing who they follow. And then you get a bunch of weirdos. And like
Oh,
it
yeah.
makes it's not fun for anybody at that point.
Are you looking at your own social media? Like, do you handle your own stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
look
God.
at yeah, I do everything. Everything on Twitter is 100% me. And then for Instagram, like with my stories, because I honestly don't know how to sell stuff or like do like swipe ups and things. So someone comes in for that stuff. But no, yeah, I edit all the captions and I
One time we were like, Chrissy, let's do an Insta Live. You're like, I don't know how to do
don't
that.
know. And I tried to join yours, which was impossible because you was the two of you or
I
something.
know, and I didn't know. I didn't imagine you would ever want to do that, so I didn't look. And if I had, I would have been a whole different day.
Yeah,
It would
we
have been a whole
didn't see it
different day.
until after because we
Yeah.
were talking about absolute nonsense. We were just catching up. And,
Yeah.
and then, because I was looking
People
at you.
don't understand how bored I am.
Are you? You look like you're having so much fun. All your stories are so fun.
That's wild to me. I mean, that just reminds me of like when I've gone out to dinner with like some of like the most famous people on the planet, and like you sit there and you take a good picture and you post it and it looks like you're all having the most epic time ever. But no, it is shit.
And then Beyonce brings nothing to the table and you're like, what a bore she is.
Beyonce.
She's got nothing to say.
It's like everybody, but it's. I always say about John and I, we either know the most famous people on the fucking planet or nobody.
Or us. Which
Right.
are nobodies.
Right.
Two
There's a
nobodies.
couple of podcasters.
Two nobodies sitting in your amazing apartment, drinking it in.
Well, there was two cases we were going to sort of talk about.
Yeah.
We were going to sort of talk a little bit about the Mommy Dead and Dearest, the Gypsy Rose Blanchard
And
case.
Aunt Diane,
And
the
Aunt
ones we
Diane.
mentioned earlier,
Can we start with Aunt Diane? Because I have so much to say.
Oh, yeah. I rewatched both of these.
And we
there were
still
things.
don't know, right?
Well, here's the thing that blew my mind. I forgot this. The whole thing about There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane is that it was Diane Schuler, who she and her husband had been camping with their family, and they were driving home separately. And Diane had in her car like her son and a bunch of her like nieces and nephews.
Yes.
And there's this whole timeline, this like hour and 20-minute timeline where like she stops at McDonald's and she was fine. And then she stops at a gas station convenience store and she's fine. And then all of a sudden she's like going 900 miles down the highway.
In the opposite direction.
Sorry about that. Fall out.
No, it's an M&M from the
It's an M&M
slot
from my
machine.
slot machine. Duh.
But then it was like, she crashed into an oncoming car. Everyone died except for her son.
She was going the opposite direction, like full stop. No, everyone said it was very intentional. And I have to say, I'm sure you heard this in the episode, but do you know what episode Aunt Diane was for us?
20
Something
I wrote
early,
it.
right?
Give it a listen, though.
Yeah, it's 19, episode 19.
And we were worried about it. We were worried about that, Dear Zachary, too. But I remember.
I know.
That's
Watching-
one I watched. I forced people to watch. Too.
Yeah. My
real
my husband and
I'm
I
sick.
got in a fight over it. I didn't prepare him enough for how it would destroy him. And I thought I did. And
Oh,
he
wait.
looked at me like, how dare you?
Have you guys done How to Die in Oregon?
No. That's about euthanasia?
Sobbing in
Oh
the
my
first
God.
5 minutes.
I know.
Absolutely sobbing. Oh
I
my
know.
God.
That's great for us. Laugh riot.
Oh,
If Chrissy says we have to do it, we have to do
No,
it.
I
wanna
just
do that
said, I
one
said,
with
give
you
us a
guys,
list.
actually, because that one is just like people are making the choice, obviously.
You want to
Right.
do that one with us?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll do it.
That one is just, oh my God.
Yeah.
What's more powerful? than
Oh,
that,
I couldn't
think.
agree. I could not
Yes.
agree more.
Agreed.
Oh my God.
I was going to say, though, Aunt Diane might be the first appearance of Ouf Maron.
It is the first appearance of Ouf Maron.
Because the guy calls, he goes, oh, she's going the opposite way on the highway. I said, Ouf Maron, look at this one over here. And you were like, can you just like do that? And I was like, yeah, that's from Queens. And that's like.
I wrote it down because the guy actually says she's driving like a bat out of hell.
A bat out of hell,
Yeah.
Ouf Maron.
Oh my,
Ouf Maron. And what was your reaction? I love that I watched the documentary and you listened to
I
us.
listened to the episode.
So what was your, did I do it?
You did it. And
Okay.
because you were saying that this guy in all of the documentaries we had covered so far, this one guy who called 911 was your favorite person.
Because he was like, I felt so close to
Because he
him
was
in
like,
that
Johnny
moment.
from Queens, like, yo, I'm on the expressway.
And he's like, this guy over here. And I was
Oh
like, I
my
think
God.
I know that guy.
Wait,
on the
so
phone.
that was after they found a bottle of vodka, right?
So
It was
here's the
broken.
thing.
Yeah,
They found a bottle of vodka, and when they did the autopsy, her blood alcohol level was way over the limit. I forgot that part.
It was
Yeah.
like 0.1 something, and she had THC in her
and
system
THC,
too.
yeah. And so
she
like
was
the
fucked
whole
up.
point is
Yeah.
that like the family spends the rest of their lives trying to prove that there's no way she was drunk.
The
and I'm like,
cavity, right? The-
yeah,
some
she had an
kind of-
abscess, and that they
The
were
what? The
I'm-
abscess? The what?
Yeah.
Werner Spitz,
Yeah.
Dr. Werner Spitz.
Oh,
And then
it's
it's
so
like-
popular.
Yeah.
the go-to.
And she
Yes.
also killed a family that was the Bastardi family too.
Yeah.
There are many members there, and so the family is in the documentary, and they're like, "Hi,
Yeah.
this is really hurtful to us
Yeah.
to sort
Yeah.
of deny what happened to our family." And it was like her sister-in-law and her husband, Diane's husband and sister-in-law, were just really like, they look at the facts and they're like, "I don't like those facts, so I'm not gonna."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And the doctors are like, "There's THC in her system, and here's her blood alcohol content," and the husband just goes, "No."
Which reminds me of the Disappeared podcast of Phoenix. when
Yes,
the family
Phoenix
was
Colden.
Yeah, the
Oh,
family was like that
yeah.
as well. They
Yes.
didn't want to
Yeah,
really
it's so,
hear
like,
everything.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what's the mystery here? Like, I watched this documentary 80 times. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so wrapped up in the mystery. But listening to our coverage of it, I'm like, no, she was hammered.
She was just
Yeah.
hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the answer is very simple. And
Yeah.
I
Totally.
think people are just like so amazed by like the, what can be created around it, but it's really just that easy. It's that simple.
Yeah, and it's so tragic. And what got me too was how long she was on the road, and like,
Yeah.
she was calling the parents of the kids in the car, and she was out of it, and then the kids were calling.
Yeah.
And it's like they couldn't find them. Like they were trying to find them on the highway. It's so
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
And
It's
who
sort of
knows
like-
about these episodes? Like, I mean, she had no history of it, right? No one ever noticed her drinking or
Right.
like drinking at all. Much
Yeah.
less getting plastered off like solid vodka.
And then
Right.
things would add, but then the sister-in-law would be like,
Which I'm like,
"Oh,
is it 5 o'clock yet?
yeah, what? I'm sorry.
know.
But then her sister-in-law would be like, okay, fine, sometimes she smoked weed. And then it's like
Right,
things
yeah.
would come out. So when the family, our favorite term, unreliable narrators, when
Yeah.
the family who wants to, protect her legacy, but it's like, no, just you have to be aware of what happened to everyone else
same
in the
with
story.
the Cecil Hotel
you know?
thing when they
Yes.
start saying, okay, yeah, she did stop taking her medication at some point, and and she would go off the rails, and you would, and that, you find out more and more, and it gets to be so sad. Like it could be an episode, like
Totally.
something that
Right.
easy, like
Right.
that
So
simple,
like
and
the thing about Elisa Lamb too that like I got from that documentary that I didn't know was that like she was just like experiencing the world for the first time.
Yeah.
Like she just wanted to go and travel, and like she was being I'm gonna cry. She was
Yeah.
like being brave and like going out on her
Yeah.
own, and like just like that this would happen to her. It's just so awful. But I will tell you, I know we hate the web sleuths. I know we do, but like
Lamb Elisa,
I know.
I know. That was
Lamb Eliza.
I know. And
What?
the foot that they maybe saw in the surveillance video, remember that part?
Yeah.
And why was the video edited?
I know.
I think someone from the hotel was like, ma'am, are you okay? And they
Yeah.
didn't want to then be seen on camera saying like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
tried to
that's
help and
true. I
then
didn't think
didn't.
about
That's
that.
what I thought. Maybe it was. They
Yeah.
were just their
I've
own
learned,
butts.
like, when they did the Maura Murray, like, remember, are you like a Maura Murray person? Do you care
No.
about that case? So, like, it's my favorite, like, missing persons case. And she was like this student who went missing, and it's like a big mystery. And there was the last place she ever stopped was at this ATM, and the police never released the video footage of her at the ATM. And they finally did, and it was edited, and that, of course, like, spiraled or
Yeah.
whatever. And they finally said, like, no, we edited it because there was like license plate numbers you could see in the background.
Yeah.
And we didn't want people like tracking that person down. Like we
Yeah.
looked into all those people. They didn't kill her. So it could be any, like.
I
Yeah.
mean, they're
edited.
smarter than, they're human, but they are smarter than, like, they know what the fuck they're doing.
Totally.
Like, they do it for a reason. But
Yeah.
I would hate if somebody blamed, like, the Lisa's with Cecil Hotel on the maintenance guy.
Right.
Because he was up
Totally.
there and,
That guy's been
And then
cleaning
morbid.
bodies out of that hotel for 20 years.
I need a doc on that guy. He has
I
seen
know.
some shit.
Some shit.
I
You
want
could see it in his eyes.
I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
know.
The manager, I was obsessed with the manager.
I
'cause
know.
She was like, I was saying to
She reminded me of the one on The Office when he went on a business trip to Canada.
Yes.
the concierge.
Yes.
She reminded me of the
Marie.
concierge Marie. Yeah.
You guys are best Office friends. That's my favorite thing. We are rewatching The Office right now. We just watched the dinner party episode.
Oh my God.
So
that's the
awkward.
best.
It
So good when
is- babe. Oh my God.
When he sits on the little footstool in the front,
Oh
he's
my
like,
God.
"No, you can curl up right here," and then he pushes his little flat screen TV
Yeah.
in.
The flat screen TV.
Yeah.
And then she breaks the flat screen
Oh,
TV.
And he goes, I love this TV.
I love
I can't. I'm like, Michael.
I know. I
care
actually,
for
there's
you.
a blooper reel on that episode, and like Jim and Pam just cannot hold
Just-
it together.
I mean,
Like,
how
I
could
love
you?
watching
Oh
the
my
YouTube
God.
on that. It's so
It is
funny.
so good.
I'm obsessed. What was I going to say?
Something horrible about some murder.
Well, what I was going to say was because I worked at a hotel for so long. I really am like obsessed with hotels, and like people die in hotels all
the time.
The time.
That's
When we
terrifying.
did our very first live show, we did it at the Yotel in Midtown,
Oh.
and and I had read about this story in the paper like days before. Oh, this is horrible. Is everyone ready? The
Yeah,
kids aren't here,
love
right? The
it.
kids are
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
ready.
Even the wind stopped. We're all like sitting at attention.
So, like, nights before we did our first live show there, the housekeeper had walked into a room and there was a bed sheet, like, right inside the door with a
Oh.
note on it that said, "Stop, don't come in here, we're
Oh, my
both
God.
dead." And they
Oh,
had,
my God.
and with
Yeah.
like $200 clipped to the thing. And they had, like, died by suicide.
Yeah.
And it was like they had gone to this hotel, like, just to do
Well,
that.
at least they left something saying like, "Don't be traumatized for the rest of your life by
Yes,
coming
exactly.
in here."
Yeah.
But also, She's going to be traumatized for the rest of her life.
Yeah,
I know.
The note alone.
The note
is
alone,
pretty.
right?
With the Cecil doc, they were like, at what point does it stop being our fault? You know, people say, you know, you're responsible for this. Like, why didn't you call her family? But at what point does it become?
But it's also that thing where like she did that like Expedia.com thing where like you don't even know what hotel you're staying at.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you're like $89 a night, great, and then you like they give you an address.
Stay on Maine. Jesus Christ, the hand seat. Just
I know.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
I don't know.
Yes.
If I could, I know it's closed now. If I could stay there, I would. If I could stay there for a night,
lipstick on a pig. It is just
Yeah.
so the orange and the metal and the
I would be I would not sleep. As it is when I travel and I stay in hotels, I don't like if I'm by myself, I sleep with all the lights on.
You
Every
just
hotel
told me that again in today's Night Stalker app, right?
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch Night Stalker?
Yes, we did. I watched it once and then I watched it again with John, and those two, that duo, you couldn't ask for a better duo,
Gil
right?
And Frank.
Gil and Frank.
So that one guy was like, I go home and I just go to sleep.
He was like, I caught the Hillside Stranglers because they were cousins.
Yeah. And then the one is like, I took it home with me.
Oh my God, that would be me. I could never. The guy's wife is leaving him, like taking the kids.
I
With,
know.
like,
Yeah.
I'm out of here. That would also. Be
I
me.
thought-
want to
yeah.
know that like Chinatown restaurant that they met at.
I
and they
googled
went-
it.
too.
I googled
What
it.
did
The one whatever her name was,
Yeah.
who like she had to know you. I
Yeah.
googled
Yes.
it, and there's like it's
Knock,
like
knock,
not
and then she lets
around.
you in.
I feel like we could maybe
we could find it
pool
if we
our
were to like call the LA
resources.
cops. Like we could find it.
Absolutely need to know.
Do we want to talk about Mommy Dead and Dearest for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot about this one too. That like the Gypsy Rose Blanchard was told by her mother from the time she was a baby that she couldn't walk. Like I forgot that like they weren't in on it together.
Yeah.
That like she was told all of this.
And then eventually she's like, oh, I thought it was all real, except I knew I could walk.
Yeah.
At one point, she does say that her mom would say to her, okay, keep your legs still in the hospital bed. But I was so blown away how the mother could convince these doctors that she
Right.
needed
And the
like,
doctors
the
took
feeding
those
tube.
notes, and they
Yes.
said like this mother is, and the way she would curate it for which doctor she was going to,
Yes.
and that was
And
fascinating.
like somebody says in the documentary, like she fell through every hole.
Yeah.
She fell through like every crack in the system.
Yeah, from the hospital, the doctors, and because there was that one doctor who said, and I was like enraged all over again. I was like, I wonder what we said about this on the podcast. I'm so glad you're here for this, girl, for many reasons, but that we can do this dynamic duo thing we do, where the doctor was like, I put it in my notes that like this is probably Munchausen by proxy, and then he was like, and at that point, because of how the system is, he was like, it's kind of out of my hands, and there's only so much he could do, and I was like, or you could be screaming about it and make a podcast about it.
Yeah, because it's like at the end of the day, you have the choice to save this kid or not. Like that's what
Sure.
it comes down to me. You know, when you know that there's like this kid is just suffering and being tortured and abused.
Yeah.
you can either like be a doctor and go home at the end of the day, or you can do everything you can do to save the kid. Right?
oh my God, I don't know. I don't know what you would do.
And I forgot that it was so much about the relationship with the boyfriend too. Going back, because I had,
And then don't forget that in between boyfriend, the one that she met at the comic.
Yes,
Yes.
this guy who was
the-
like, "Why don't you?" She was like at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
This is why
that's
your
the kind
manager's
of
like, "You're not
guys I
allowed
want
to
to meet.
Oh my God.
I want to meet that guy.
him. Go to CrimeCon. He'll probably be there.
Totally. But she was like, she like meets some 21-year-old guy who's like, come live with me. I mean, what
Yeah.
a
I
nightmare.
know.
Yeah.
But
I know.
then, you guys, are we going to talk about the fact that that other guy masturbated in McDonald's for 9 hours?
Oh my God, 9 hours. I know.
I don't understand.
I know. We're not blown away by the masturbation at all. Just
No.
but 9 hours.
I mean, I have so many inappropriate questions.
Nicholas.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Nick. And you know, when that episode originally aired, we were talking about that, and then
Yes.
the ad that followed that bit was for Handy.
for Handy, which we did not know.
not planned.
We did not.
Tell us about Handy.
That they're no longer a sponsor, so fuck Handy. No. It's like if you need someone to help around your house, or like a handy person, or like a cleaning person. And so the thing when we get ads, Chrissy, is like they're numbered, right? Yeah, they're numbered, so we don't pick when they go in. Like they tell us, so we didn't know that it would come in.
Sounds like you
after
flow
the-
right into them.
Yeah, especially with the handy stuff.
I know. But yeah, that case is so sad. She's going to be okay, right? Like, she's going to get out of jail.
I think she's got to be in a lot of therapy. I think all of us should be in therapy all the time, as you know. But
I am in therapy.
Same. I think she.
Oh,
I
the
think she
Cajun.
needs to work
That's the
through
first
it.
time I learned about Cajuns.
Oh, really?
Oh, is their
And
accent?
now
Their accent's
I'm learning
fantastic.
more now.
Do you make their food?
Oh my God, of course. Yes.
Crawfish etouffee.
But from that to 90 Day now, there's a couple on 90 Days where one lives in on the bayou in New Orleans, and it's just like such a fascinating world to me. I love it.
Oh,
yeah, I love it too.
Yeah. The accent, everything about it is just so.
I love
I
it
need
too.
more on the bayou. I need to know more.
Her dad has that accent, and like it is very sexy. It is like that very like. Do you not think it's sexy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, I just repulsed Chrissy Teigen. I don't know what I did.
I don't know. I think it's amazing. All the things that have to go into making such a perfect accent like that, like to go into it. But it's sexy is not
It is
something I would have thought of.
Chrissy Trout, nothing I would have thought of. Chrissy, this podcast that we're going to make together forever and ever is going to go really well. It feels very natural.
I do always
to me.
love when you're like that person. You're like, you're going to say it, right? You thought he was hot.
or when you ask me, what am I going to say? And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I know. The shirtless picture. I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh, taking notes.
I know.
Wait, who's the one that I sent you in the DMs? That I sent you a shirtless picture of the actor.
One day I look at my DMs and Chrissy's, it's a picture of a hot shirtless guy and it just says, for Patrick.
Right.
And I was like, wait. Oh, it was the actor from Tower. The guy who did the actor for like that, the hot cop.
Maybe the racist cop?
The racist hot cop. Yeah. Who like didn't know what the Black Panthers were. I cannot.
Two things can be true at once.
It's
racist, good body.
Oh, I know. Still garbage, great body.
Yeah, I'm here to say, like, there's still garbage, everybody.
Yeah.
It's my
Still
role here.
garbage.
Still garbage.
There's your T-shirt. Two things can be true at once.
What else do we have to talk to Chrissy Teigen about?
So much.
Well,
Just chilling.
number one, we don't want to monopolize your time. So you tell us as soon as you're done talking about stuff.
I'm good till Sunday morning.
Great. Fantastic. It is Friday, so we're good.
Wait, can I ask you about, is it true that you were discovered at a surf shop?
Yeah, I was.
You got like a Billabong campaign working at a surf shop.
Well, I was working at a place called Huntington Surf and Sport in Huntington Beach, and I was doing my senior year down in Huntington Beach, and then I was working at this surf shop, and it was such a wonder. Again, like I had a great childhood, I had a great like teenage life.
Your documentary is going to be so good.
I know.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
And I remember just one day I was like folding clothes and a photographer came in and showed me his portfolio and everyone like swarmed around me and they were like, he comes in for everybody. Like, don't be flattered.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, it does sound sketchy, like the hot girl at the surf store,
Right.
you know.
And honestly, like just, I was such a tomboy, honestly. Like I really didn't like get dressed up. I didn't get dolled up, but like for what?
Supermodel said they
You would know.
Oh,
apparently has the history. Do you want to be on or not? So take a mic or don't.
that's cute.
So yeah, he came in and was like, let's do a test shoot. And basically for trade, right? Like get a DVD, a CD of photos, and then.
Did you have like 14 people go with you to this shoot?
No, I had my dad went with me and he held the light reflector.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, so on the beach and I had like a little cowboy hat and a bikini, but like it was very nothing. Like it wasn't like sexual or, and then, well, it did get there eventually after a while. But no, like my first few shoots with it were nothing. And we shopped those to agencies and then ended up signing with an agency and then ended up having another test shoot with somebody and then my now like one of our best friends, Nabil, ended up seeing the photos and I ended up getting a Billabong campaign just by going to castings and doing like the regular bullshit. And it was so exciting to me to get to go to their warehouse in Irvine and get to do a casting with them. And for me, that was my biggest thing, was doing an international Billabong campaign. And it was shot by Nabil, who then shot me for this. I wonder where these photos are. Nabil has them all. I know it. But we shot for this men's suit company in Beverly Hills, but I had no top on. And then so these photos get shot, like I have a tie on and maybe a jacket and underwear. And these photos get sent to John as like, hey, like maybe you should use this girl for your video, for a video called a song called Stereo. And then John picks from those stupid suit photos and is like, yeah, this one. And that's
God.
Yeah.
So is there like some makeup artist somewhere or some AD somewhere who was like, Chrissy Teigen was trying to get me to watch this documentary back in the day? Like, were you always trying to get people to talk about true crime? Like as a makeup chair, like, so what are you into? I just watched this.
Always. No, truly. It was always like a passion of mine. It really was. But even upon learning that, I don't know, just the Nabil stuff is so fascinating to me that we met in that way. And then, there's a video out there that I remember like vaguely. It's funny how like the human body like protects you from things.
Yeah.
Because there is absolutely a video out there of that Nabil and I shot where I am naked roller skating.
Chrissy.
It just got hot in here.
I want to see it. I'm
Me
dying
too.
to see it.
So weird that I just said me too.
I keep bringing it up, but Nabil, this is my call out for you. I want to see the naked roller skating video.
He totally listens to True Crime
He's
Obsessed, right?
he's a pain of the
absolutely.
five. Wait, when did you sign up for the Patreon?
Oh, ages ago.
And did you use your real name?
No, because I've searched for Chrissy.
And why doesn't it merge with my other?
We're fixing it before we leave.
We've told this story 30 times that we were really anxious that you are no longer subscribed to our
remember
podcast.
when I was walking you through this over Instagram.
My cards. Okay, CV, vouch for this. My cards have been declining left and right everywhere.
Why?
So maybe I'm not.
The Illuminati.
Yeah, it's the Illuminati. No, something's up with and it's embarrassing.
I know.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
And it's always like
we'll just send
at
you the
least
link.
once a day.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We'll just send you the. Don't worry about the cards.
I like to support.
I said this to you before, and you got a little shy about it, but I want to say it again.
What?
You being nice to us and you like shining a light on us and our podcast is so meaningful.
Yeah,
I
truly.
can't tell you, like, it's you are like for sure the most famous true crime like podcast connoisseur out there, and you caring about us and being nice to us, like this has been a really hard year. This has been a really shitty year.
No, it's been absolute shit garbage, and like again, bouncing off the like your body protects you from certain things. Like I have had like such a fucking weirdo year, and for me, you guys were really there for like really like solidly bad shit.
Thank you.
Like, and you were like, for me, honestly, I swear to God, you were my friends through it all. Like being in the closet, like there were days like where I couldn't physically get out of the bathtub that we joke about now. Like we're like, oh my God.
The bathroom you've never seen the other side of.
That one. No, there were times.
Yeah.
Like there were times where I'd like have to text John. Like I'd be listening to your podcast and I would text John. I'd be like, "Can you come help me out of the bathtub?" Like I couldn't physically get out of the bathtub, but you guys were always there for me through everything, you really were. So for me, this is nothing. This isn't like a, like, oh, I'm doing them such a huge favor. Like you guys were my friends. Like during this entire time of like quarantine has been shit in general, but our life has just seen so many like ups and downs, and like the highs have been so high and the lows have been so low, and then like it just literally like have just seeing the low lows, but you guys were a part of all of that for me. You really were. Like I listened to you, and it was just like a way to like escape and laugh, and it merged two of my favorite things like crime, and you guys are hysterical together. You're so good together.
Thank you.
I'm clearly like very jealous of what you get to do and get to and I'm like I just think it's fantastic, and like I'm lucky that you guys were in my life for all of this, because I didn't really have like we're such a bubble. Like my life is such a bubble. Like I have 10 people that I love and we're a pod, and like they know who they are and that's it. And while we do welcome the whole world in to watch things, there's only like a real solid group of like a few people. And you guys, for me, are those people.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. The thing about you too is that like you are so loved in the world. When people were like when people saw that you like liked us, and we would just hear from people about you, and everyone's like, people are like really crazy about you. You know, like they really see themselves in you, and they really like.
Thank you. And I one of my biggest fears is like that I've changed to them, or that because I know for a fact that I'm not the same person that they signed up for. That person that's going to just like spew shit and unapologetically. I'm not that. I'm an apologizer now. I am I'm a person that recognizes like faults in what they've said in the past, and I see problems in like and having hurt people in the past, and like my gut hurts thinking about it. But like I'm also appreciative of the fact that I'm called out on my bullshit and that I get to address things. But it's such a different world now that I get to grow in front of everybody, because I have you know, from the day that, I don't know, the timing wise, like it just lined up that I was going to be on social media in a time where everyone was going to learn from me.
Yeah.
And I am willing to be that person and willing to be that person that gets called out on their shit and get to grow and learn from it. But my only request is that people be more accepting of people growing and learning from those mistakes, because it's one thing to be like, you know, to call someone out on their shit and to get them to acknowledge it, but we also have to be accepting and forgiving of them once they learn from it, because I feel like sometimes that shit all goes out the window. And for me, it's just, I learn in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So that's such a hard thing for me as a person that really wants to be loved by everybody. Like I genuinely care what everyone thinks about me. And I've always been like that. I've always been the person that wanted to connect with everybody. Like every friend group, I wanted them to like me. And I'm still like that. And I'm like desperate for that love. And it's a tough world to be in now when you are shut out by, especially people that you love.
Yeah.
Like when it's that side, like it's one thing for like a bunch of crazies to think that you're shit. But when it's on your side and when they think you're shit, that's like next level for me. So yeah, I appreciate like everyone just, you know, getting to understand that I am like, I don't know. I'm so like I'm a kid. Like I just want to be liked and loved, and like it's so sad, but like I really am like crazy for it. And you know, I look at other people and who get to do it unapologetically, who get to say their thoughts and it get to be me. Like I look at some people on Twitter now that get to say whatever they want and get to say things like how I used to say them, and I'm so jealous of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not me anymore. And that's why I do feel bad for like, man, you guys, I'm not the person that you knew before, but it's also a good thing, I guess.
Well, that's the thing about growth. Like somebody sent to me today, Sarah Silverman did this whole thing about growth. And
her apology to Paris
Hilton,
I
that's
thought
what it was.
so incredible, because it is exactly true. It's, you know, like, you're absolutely right. I wouldn't make those jokes again.
Yes.
Like, there are things that I've said that I'm mortified about.
Right.
And feelings that I've hurt. And for me, you know, there is this thing about punching down, right? Like when you are at this level and you are making fun of somebody that's so like out of your realm, right? Like they would never notice this, but to now know that I'm that person and I'm affected by it, like to hurt those feelings, like it's all very real. And I think what the conversation has started from it is so incredible and so powerful and so good that now we know. And it's one thing to make a mistake, but then to keep fucking doing it, like it's is another thing.
Yeah.
And for me, like if there are ever brands or companies that have said something that I don't like, for me, it's just like a personal thing. Like, fuck, I'm not going to fuck with you anymore.
Yeah.
Like if anyone else wants to go ahead and make this decision, then fantastic. Go ahead and do it. But I am not going to do that thing. So I wish we could be more, you know, in that realm of like, you know, instead of canceling somebody's entire company, like there's still going to be people that are on their side and agree with them.
And like
go for it. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be me though.
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck
There she is.
Honestly, like I fucking, to me, it's a personal fuck you that like someone as fantastic as I look at John, like, or me, I guess, are not going to fuck with you. And I see your cute shit all day on Net-a-Porter. And I want it so bad. I do. It's so fucking cute. I love it, but fuck you.
I think I'm out of a job. That was awesome. And I have to say, Chrissy, you are loved, not just by the people in this room, but especially like people that Patrick and I haven't spoken to since like 7th grade. They're all coming out of the woodwork.
Yes. Oh my God.
You are, but truly, you are loved. And so we will tell you that all the time.
Anyway, Jillian, thank you so much for being here.
No problem. That's my cue.
Chrissy, Teigen,
Oh my God.
Patrick, Hines.
You guys, thank you for being with me through everything. I appreciate it so
that
much.
means so much to us.
You have no
Thank
idea.
Thank
You
you.
truly have no
for
idea.
that.
No.
Like the conversations we've had with each other about how much this means to us and how grateful we are for you.
I told you, I just want you guys to be able to live in New York.
Yeah,
that's
thank
my
you.
goal. I want you to be able to support yourselves in a city like this.
Well, let's keep doing this so that we can so that we can do that. We just need your help, Chrissy.
I got you.
Yes.
I mean, should we wrap it up there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Chrissy Teigen, thank
Thank
you
you.
for doing
Thank
this. If you want to,
Yes.
we will be thrilled to do that How to Die in Oregon thing with you.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's
yeah,
do
I
it.
think specific things, let's just have fun with them.
Great.
Totally. Well, we love you. We
Thank
are
you, guys.
So,
I love you
so
too.
grateful. Thank you for having us to your home.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This has been bananas. I honestly cannot believe this
I have
is
to tell you, it's my
happening.
first time out in a year.
I'm gonna
Pretty
go
good.
home and, like-
pretty good. I don't know what the second thing is gonna be, but I've got to live up to this.
As soon as we come, we'll be like, oh, I should have been this. I should have done this.
come on again.
Oh my God, please. This is like my favorite thing. You're the best. We love you.
We
Thank
love
you,
you.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
guys.
Chrissy.
John and I do love you.
And also, thank you, John Legend.
John, thank you for putting
And
up
thank
with us
you,
in your
listeners,
house.
for putting up with them talking about me. Thank you, listeners, for putting up with them talking about me all the time.
I know, and that's not stop. That's not going
No, it's
anywhere.
not.
That's not going anywhere.
Deal with it.
All right, bye. Oh my goodness, girl, how fun was that?
It was the most fun and so surreal and bizarre and just, it was really, I mean, I still to this day cannot believe it.
I still cannot get over the Hooters. I can't get over the Hooters, girl.
I mean, there was a lot of talk about Hooters. It's just, again, I didn't know what to expect. I repeat, I did not know what to expect.
You guys, a couple of things that got left out. Like at one point, Chrissy was like taking videos of us and then texted them to Jillian and me, and she asked us if we could be text friends. Remember that?
Yeah, and then we put her phone number in, and then as we were putting our numbers in, Beyonce's number popped up, and we didn't see it. We didn't see anything. But you know, on an iPhone, when you put your number in, and then like
Totally.
other people's numbers. So one of us shares at least one digit with Beyonce.
Yes. So you guys, like we said at the beginning, if you just found us for this Chrissy Teigen interview, I hope that you'll check out the rest of what we do. It's not usually like this. It's always just Jillian and me recapping your favorite true crime documentaries with humor and heart and sass. And you know, go look at our catalog of episodes. If you've ever seen a single documentary, we've covered it.
Yeah, and we also have a Patreon where we do the long form series, like the Making a Murderer, the Jinx, all that kind of stuff. So that's there too. We're just, you know, there's a lot of content out there, and we're talking about all of it.
And for those of you who've been with us from the beginning or aren't the brand new listeners we're talking to today, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being there for us. It's really because of you guys that we're still here, which means it's because of you that we got to hang out with Chrissy at her house.
100%. Yes, we said it at the top. We'll say it again. We love you.
And for more, and for some of the pictures and videos of the day that we spent with Chrissy and John, go to our Instagram. It's True Crime Obsessed Podcast. Follow us there. We go live every Tuesday at noon. We hang out. Sometimes Chrissy shows up. Sometimes Chrissy shows up in our lives.
Sometimes she's there in the comments. It's bananas.
All right, you guys, we love you. Thank you for checking this out.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Chrissy. Loving you. Hope you loved it. Text us
Yeah.
and let us know. Do you have notes? Let us know. Let us know.
Bye.
Bye.